Welcome to St Andrew's Family Time. I'm Nikki from St Andrew's Church in St Helens. This is a continuation of some of the miracles that Jesus did. And we're going to find out another one today. In today's episode, Nick has a fun activity to do. We're going to have a story. And then Jean is going to share some wondering questions that you can talk with your families. And then Gaynor is going to share a creative way to pray. Remember, you can pause the video anytime to try out an activity or just watch it through and do the activities afterwards. Now, for an activity with Nick.
Well, today's activity is a cooking activity. We're going to make a mud pie brownie. Well, a chocolate brownie. So, what we're going to need is some flour, some cocoa powder, some baking powder, some salt. We're going to need some butter, some chocolate, and some sugar, and 3 eggs. Okay, of course, I've washed my hands thoroughly before I did this. So, right, there we have it. That's what we're going to need. Now, this is what we're going to have to do. So, first of all, you need to preheat an oven to 175 degrees centigrade or gas mark 4. So I've already done that. And then we're going to get a baking tin and we're going to put some greaseproof paper on it so that the stuff doesn't stick. It doesn't have to fit really neatly because a bit later on we'll weigh it down with brownie mixture. Okay. Now, while the oven's warming up, I've got some chocolate. We're going to break up the chocolate. I've broken it up already. It's in here. And I'm going to add the butter. Don't need to chop up the butter. Just need to chuck it in because it's all going to melt in together. And there's a tiny bit of salt to add as well. So let's just do that. Got to be careful with the salt. Just 1/4 teaspoon, not a lot. And that goes, oh no, that doesn't go in there at all, does it? Well, it'll all go in the same place later, so it doesn't matter. Okay, the salt goes in, could go in with the dry mixture. It doesn't hurt to go in with the chocolate. It all goes into the same bowl in the end. Right, so first of all, I've got to take this to the oven. It's going to go in a saucepan of very hot water and it's going to melt gently. So we don't put this into a microwave or straight into a saucepan because the chocolate is likely to burn. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. In the meantime, we're going to mix up the dry ingredients. So we've got a cup of flour. So apparently a cup is an American measurement for baking. This is a cup of flour. It's actually about a mug full, but with room for milk. So it's a normal mug full, but with room for milk. Okay, so that's the flour. Then we're going to add the cocoa, which is just a 1/4 cup. I've got a 1/4 cup measurer here. And I've measured that out already. And I've put the little bit of baking powder in with that just to speed things up. Next, we've got the cocoa, the baking powder, and the salt. So, put the salt into the bowl. Actually, I mixed the salt in the other bowl earlier, but it won't hurt. So then we're going to mix all that together with a spoon. So there's my dry ingredients all mixed up in a bowl. Next, I'm going to go and get my chocolate, which I hope has now melted. So, back in a tick. Okay, there's the chocolate melted, smells lovely. See it pouring down. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the sugar to the chocolate mix. There's my sugar measured out earlier. That's a cup of sugar, and we're going to just pour that in and then mix it round. Smells good, smells good. Okay, so we've mixed the chocolate and the sugar, and then what we're going to do, we're going to add in the eggs. But before I add in the eggs, I'm going to get a little whisk and just break them up a little bit, just to break the yolks up so that they'll mix in better. Okay, so I'm going to pour those in now. Here we go. Put that to one side and just stir it all together and mix it in. Now, once that's mixed in, then we're going to mix our wet ingredients, which are in this bowl, with our dry ingredients, which are in the green bowl. So I'm going to pour that in. This bowl's got a handy little pouring spout. So I'll give that a good mix. And then we're ready to pour it into the baking tray. There it goes. So there you go. That'll do for now. That's what it looks like. A nice chocolate mud pie mixture there. It's going to be our chocolate mud pie brownie. That now needs to go in the oven. So obviously you get a grown-up to do the oven bit for you, and it's going in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes on gas mark 4 or 175 degrees centigrade. And when it comes out, you need to check that it's cooked by putting a knife into it and seeing if it comes out clean. If it comes out clean, then it's cooked. So I'm just going to whisk this to the oven. And here's one I made earlier. Let's check it with the knife. We stick the knife in. Does it come out clean? Yes, it does. Fantastic. So that one is ready to eat. I might taste a bit. This is. Let's see what it's like, shall we? Not bad for the first effort. So, I hope you enjoy making your chocolate mud pie brownie.
Now, here's a story all about healing a blind man. Today, it's going to be a video. Enjoy watching it.
Stories of the Bible. Jesus heals a man born blind. This is Jesus,
Hey-o!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love. He did many miracles and healed people of their sickness.
Oh, hey, everyone!
One day, Jesus was walking with his disciples, and he saw a man who was born blind.
Hey, Jesus!
His disciples wondered whose fault it was. That this man was blind, Jesus told them it was not because anyone sinned, but rather it was because the power of God could be shown through this man's life. Then Jesus spit on the ground and made mud. He spread the mud over the blind man's eyes and told him, "Go wash yourself in the pool of Siloam." So the man went and did as Jesus said, and he could see. The man's neighbors and others who knew him as the blind man wondered if this was the same man.
Is that the same guy? No way.
They said, "No, he just looks like him."
It's me. No, it can't be.
But the blind man kept saying, "Yes, it's me." So the people asked, "Who healed you? What happened?" And the man told them all that Jesus had done for him.
Ew, that's what happened.
The people asked, "Where is Jesus now?" But the man didn't know.
Come on, you.
So the people took the man to the Pharisees because it was the Sabbath, the day of rest, and they thought Jesus shouldn't have made mud and healed the man on the Sabbath. The Pharisees asked the man so many questions,
What's going on?
and he answered them, "I was blind, but now I can see." The Pharisees kept asking more questions. They even brought the man's parents in to ask them questions, but they wouldn't answer because they were afraid of the Pharisees. Finally, the man had enough and yelled,
Listen!
"Look, I told you once. Why do you want to hear it again? If this man were not from God, he couldn't have made me see."
Don't come back.
The Pharisees were so mad at the man for saying this that they threw him out of the synagogue. Jesus heard what happened,
Oh, hey there.
and he found the man and asked him, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" The man answered, "Who is he, sir? I want to believe in him." "You have seen him," Jesus said, "and he is speaking to you."
Wow!
"Yes, Lord, I believe." And he worshiped Jesus.
What an amazing story. I love those cartoons. Jesus healed somebody who'd never been able to see. You would expect celebrations and rejoicing, but instead, this story was full of questions and complaints. Even though they could see proof of the miracle, many people in the story did not want to believe in Jesus or his miracles. They searched for ways to trick him into saying things wrong, to prove he hadn't done it. Now, we're going to go over to Jean now, who has a few questions to get us talking together about the story.
What do you think it would be like to not be able to see? What would you do if you were blind and you had been healed and could now see? Why do you think not everyone in the story was happy for the man that had been healed? Can you think of a time when you shared something that's important to you, but you weren't listened to?
Thanks, Jean. Why not pause the video now and talk about these things together? There are still people in the world who don't believe the good news about Jesus, but just like Jesus was a light to the world, we can shine this in the world and share with God's love and others. Gaynor is going to share with us a way we can pray and shine light into the world.
Our prayer time today is going to be quiet and still. For a few seconds, imagine how dark the world must feel to a blind person like the one in today's story. Jesus brought light into the life of that man by curing him, but he also brings another kind of light to us now. In John 8, Jesus says, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Light is powerful in getting rid of darkness. Let's think about Jesus as we focus on the candle, and think about Jesus as the light of the world, the bringer of love. And so I pray. Jesus, thank you for loving us and bringing your light into our world. Please help us to shine your love light into the dark and sad places in our world. Amen.
Thanks, Gaynor. Well, that's all we've got time for now. We'd love to hear from you and see what you've been making and drawing. You can message us via our St Andrew's Facebook page or post something in one of our WhatsApp groups. Look out for another episode of St Andrew's Family Time next week, and why not subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications of each new video. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
See you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.